Hello, everybody. So we will be doing, what the heck is this doing here? We will be doing some pretty earrings. I don't know how many of you will manage to be with me on the Christmas Eve because in Europe you already started celebrating, and in the US, a lot of the ladies are actually busy preparing the Christmas dinner, Christmas Eve dinner. But for whomever is here, and even for the people who will watch this in replay, I will be using the cane that we did the last live and that I used to make a necklace and the tutorial I posted yesterday to make another pair of earrings. This time in a little bit of a different way than the ones that I posted before in a tutorial. Hi, Brenda. So I don't know if you remember my flute earrings that were faux copper that I posted, gosh, months ago. But we will be using the same type of principle for these ones. And because of that, we will need to actually make some a kind of base shape for baking. And this is why I put in the list of materials: paper, scissors, and masking tape. Remember, whenever you use tape to create any kind of base for baking specific shapes, always use paper tape, be it masking tape, painter's tape, because the other kind of tape will, well, melt in the oven. But the paper tape is just fine to use. And it's easier to make these with paper than with aluminum foil. If you remember, for the ones made in copper, I made some baking shapes, baking bases in aluminum foil. But for these ones, because they are much smaller, I will be using paper. And the principle will be, if you think a little bit on the bleeding hearts flowers. Hi, Jeanette. This is pretty much how they will look like. So we will be making some trumpet flute-like pieces that will kind of come one from inside the other. And because the cane is translucent, and if you saw, let me grab it real quick, it gives a lacy look and feel. If you noticed on the necklace, on the beads, see how the beads look like they are made of lace. And we will go for the same kind of look. And you can see even on the transparency of the snowflake cane slice in the middle, it still looks fairly lacy. So without further ado, let's start by first making the shapes for baking. And what we need is, we need cones, obviously, if we want to bake something like a cone. Before making the shapes, you need to, because this has stayed on the table and then in my drawer for about a week, make sure that you warm it up a little bit. Hi, Teresa. Make sure that you warm it up a little bit so it will not crack whenever you try to bend the slice. And there are two ways of doing it. You can make it with half slice and use the slice as is, big like this. Or you can actually reduce and make a, hi, the other Teresa, and reduce it in more of a triangular shape that will wrap nicely around the cone. So depending on what you're trying to do, I'm going to show you how to do the triangular deformation because in my opinion, it's more interesting. So what I will do, I will first cut a piece of the big cane, about this much should be enough because I'm going to reduce it and deform it. I really need to put some nail polish on this blade, so I stop not finding which is the cutting side. And let me get this back in the cling wrap. And then while I'm reducing, and this is the other reason why I'm choosing to do this, because while I'm reducing, the clay will get warmed up. So first I'm doing a little bit of round, and then let me choose. I'm going to choose this part because I deformed it a little bit when I cut it. So I'm going to gently, very gently, press it into a more, you don't want a full triangle. We want to leave this these two edges round. But very gently start pressing. And the triangle has to be with a very wide angle, not with a small angle. And see, I'm taking as point of reference one of the spokes of the snowflake. And I also want to make it just a tad smaller because I don't want the earrings to be shoulder huggers, you know, to be humongously long. But this way you'll have two different earrings to wear with that necklace. And you can make it higher and make actual beads coming out of beads necklace. And after Christmas, I will put up a bracelet made with the same cane to make a full set that can be worn in winter. Because it's not just for the holidays. I mean, come on. The holidays are just in the beginning of winter. We'll have winter for the whole January and February and part of March, right? So if you watched the necklace tutorial and you have any kind of questions about that, I will be happy to answer any of your questions and also other questions. Also, for the next Clay With Me Sunday, I am not going to do a Clay With Me Sunday on the 31st of December. Instead, I will do on the 30th of December. Hi, Manny. On the 30th of December, on Saturday, I will do pretty much wrapping up the year. And yes, I will still do the monthly chat with you in the first week of January. But as a general idea, I will do a wrapping up the year 2017. And I'll let the pets tell you a few things too. Hi, Soile. And happy holidays for everybody. What are you cooking good? Tell me. Because I want to know. I am a gourmet by nature. And yeah, I need to start pressing a little bit harder because I don't want to be here till Christmas. On me personally, the only thing that I'm actually baking special for Christmas is some bread. And I was seriously thinking, because I have on another YouTube channel that's about cooking and that I left into oblivion. I have a video about that's with the recipe of Romanian style stuffed cabbage rolls that we always make for any kind of holidays or celebration. And they are always up at weddings and baptisms and Easter and you name it. So I know that my channel, this channel is all about polymer clay, but I was seriously thinking of uploading that video here too. Hi Lynn, hi Deborah. Oh, that sounds awesome, Brenda. What are chicken puffs? I don't know what chicken puffs are. Tell me more about it. But the ham slider sounds delicious. Yeah, so I was saying I am making some bread. I cannot really knead the bread by hand anymore, so I have a bread maker. But I like to make braided breads. You know, most of them, they are round shaped. And I think I'm going to make one of those because they are very celebratory. That's good, Soil. Yeah, I got a whole bunch of cookies ready-made, and I've got a panettone because normally for Christmas in Romania we make, there's a sweet walnut bread that is definitely delicious, but it's very similar to the Italian panettone. Um, the Romanian one is filled, actually. It's pretty much like a bread dough, only that you put a whole bunch of eggs. You also put butter and milk and sugar, of course, and rum essence and lemon zest and vanilla. And then the way you do the filling, you get a whole bunch of egg whites and you whip them stiff. And then you gently fold in there very finely grated walnuts and cocoa. And then you spread the dough and you spread that filling and then you roll it and then you bake them. And they come out with a spiral of a filling. Oh, that sounds good. So because the YouTube doesn't keep the comments, Brenda says that the chicken puffs are made with crescent rolls and chicken mixed with cream cheese with some onion powder and garlic powder. It sounds delicious. Okay, I got my little cane reduced enough. So now I'm going to try and slice. I will need 4 slices minimum. I'm not going to make them. I mean, you can make it even smaller than this, but I'm not going to make it smaller than this. You can make it smaller than this and get 3 slices per earring, but I'm going to go like this and go with 2 slices per earring. And make the slice about 1 millimeter thick. Oops. Okay, I messed up. Two. Sorry, I'll look at the chat in a minute. I'm trying to get my slices nice and even here. And I messed up again. I want to tell you that I am seriously considering, and I'm pretty much came up with the schematics for a cane slicer that wouldn't be that expensive. And who knows, maybe I can find a Chinese manufacturer to make it for me. Because I was thinking of something to be around, I don't know, maybe 40 bucks. Okay, now if we get the slices not very nice and equal, you can always flatten them and manipulate them a little bit. And get this back up here. Yeah, but see, the Romanian cabbage rolls are different than the Greek ones. We fill them up with ground pork and rice and sauteed onion and tomatoes, and then they get you get a huge pot, and you put in the middle some smoked ham hocks, and then you layer the cabbage rolls all around them, those smoked ham hocks, until you fill the pot. You need one of those soup pots. And then you fill it with water and put a heavy plate or lid on top to hold the cabbage rolls down. And then they need to simmer for several hours. And they just melt in your mouth. They are absolutely delicious. And what kind of cookies you make, Teresa? I actually found that the Winko, when I went shopping the other day in preparation for the ice storm that never came, Winko has knockoff Girl Scout cookies, so I got several packages of those. That's why I don't have to bake cookies this year. And the thing is that since my dad died on the 22nd of December 2013, I don't really feel like celebrating much on Christmas, because Christmas time used to be our bonding time, if you want. We used to, it was us putting up the tree together and doing all kinds of other preparations for Christmas. So that's why I didn't even intend to put up the tree. I keep saying that every year, but I put it up just because of the cats, because they enjoy so much the tree. And I was video chatting with Deborah last evening, and she saw Connor on the lap seat adoring the tree. Oh, that sounds good. That sounds delicious, Manny. Okay, so you need your cones to be about this big, so you'll have a little bit of opening on the bottom. And that's what I love about the masking tape, is that you can break it by hand. You don't need any kind of scissors, so you can do it with just two hands. You don't need help. So why you need these? You need these practically to hold the shape, so they wouldn't collapse while they are baking. Oh yes, he just loves it. And you saw Seamus just goes under the tree, and that's where he sits. I always joke that he's waiting for Santa, but he just sits there. And I have some stuffed toys, some stuffed dogs, because for a few years I didn't do any this year, but I used to crochet dog coats over winter for small dogs. And those stuffed toys were always my models. And they look good under the tree. And Seamus goes and cuddles with them under the tree. But Connor is always in adoration. Hi, Carrie. That's okay. So I got, this is my third cone. And you don't even have to trim it like this because we are going to bake laying down. They are not baking standing up like the copper flute earrings, but make sure that you get the tip, the corner of the paper well stuck down. And one more. Yeah, Connor wanted this morning again. The pets are such a creatures of habit. If something happens that and things are not the way that they are used to, they will freak out. With Connor, I know it's one of three things when he starts pestering me. It's either you can see the bottom of their food dish, even if it's like the size of a small pea. If you can see the bottom of their food dish, then he'll act like he's into full starvation mode. Or their litter box needs cleaned, or he needs brushed. He will throw fits if he doesn't get his daily brushing. And that's what I was joking on the post I made about him unscrewing jar lids and playing with my glass baubles. Um, his paradise is whenever he's being held and having his belly brushed. That's his most favorite thing of all. Okay, so now just gently press this in between your fingers because you need to make sure it's warmed up enough. And you can always, kind of brush it like this so you don't get fingerprints. And then gently roll it on the, and see, you need to, I made this tip a little bit too pointy. They need to be more like a trapeze than like a triangle. And then wrap them around until you can actually press these at the upper part together. You only want the upper part pressed together. And then gently lift these. I know. This is Seamus who wants attention. I know, sweetheart. Really? Oh my goodness. Oh yes, Teresa's bowl is fabulous. It's absolutely fabulous. So let me try and make the camera focus. Come on. Stay with me. There you go. So this is pretty much how you want your, let me see if I turn off the lights and get just daylight. There you go. You can see much better this way. And this is how you want them to look like. And then you put them like this. So on this part, on some more paper, don't put them on any shiny thing. And again, I'm flattening this a little bit and warming up the slice. And then just brush it off with your... No, she promised that she will have the tiger's eye tutorial for the contest entry. Oh, I cannot wait to see it. Okay, it's a little bit wider. Yes, that's why I said pretty much like if you remember how the bleeding hearts flowers look like, how they come, or the fuchsia flowers, how they come one from inside the other. And that's how the earrings will look like. And even more. But make sure that you don't put them together at the very tip because you'll need your wire to go through it. And then very gently lift the edges. So these will be the top ones. And then the bottom ones will be more fluted without the lifted edges. Oh yes, it would. You're right, Manny. It would make a good angel skirt. Hi, Brigitte. You will see Brenda already sent in her entry, if I'm not mistaken. If I remember right. So the next one, we don't lift the skirts, but it needs to be a little wider. Merry Christmas to everybody and happy holidays if you don't celebrate Christmas. And on this one, make sure that even if you don't lift the skirts, make it pretty much be a little bit lopsided, as into press it, put it like this. So this part will be that way. So when they come one from the other, there'll be one on one way and one on the other way. So yeah, these are not very hard to make. They are very easy to make, but the effect is very pretty. So they'll only need to bake for like 10-15 minutes. And then as soon as you hear the oven ding, just grab them and dunk them in ice water, and they will instantly get cooled off and hard. Oh, merci, Brigitte. Yeah, il y a beaucoup de gens qui sont tout seuls. C'est une bonne célébration en faisant quelque chose de beau. And this one came up a little bit more. So see, I don't know if you can see. Let me try and move the camera so you can see how it sits. See how the inside one sits in such a way that this part will lift off. Oh, merci. Okay, now let me run real quick and put these in the oven, and then I'll be back and we'll talk about things. I can even give you a preview. I'm still working on editing the jewelry pieces for the mother of pearl. So I'll be right back. So there you go. Here's a preview. I don't know if you're going to be able to see very well because it took me a long time before I was able to take a good clip that would show the colors and pearlescence properly. But this is the primo. No, I'm going to try and make this camera focus properly. This is the primo one. This is the pendant. And this is a earring. Again, trying to make the camera focus is a pain. Ah, bonjour Sylvie. Be what on my YouTube? Let me check. What are we talking about? Yes, the carnation video is on my YouTube channel. Let's see, it's not because of the light. I cannot. Let me try and turn on one light. Show the no. Let me try with the ceiling light. See if it will show the. This works a little bit better. So this is the primo. And you can see it does a decent job, but it cannot compare with the Pardo. And with the Pardo, even the false silver looks like silver. And this is the Pardo pendant. Okay. See how even the metallic silver looks like metal. And this is in the jewelry line, it's actually a mix of silver and platinum that's been buffed. And here's one of the earrings with Pardo. And again, you can see all the layers of pearlescence and the look of silver. And yeah, I love the Pardo myself. And I can show you the finished abalone ones. Because again, the tutorial on how to make this is sponsors only, but I see no reason why I couldn't show you the finished pieces. So this is the primo, and it's in one of the pawa variations. And again, the primo does a decent job in imitating silver, but it cannot really compare to and imitating the abalone. Come on, camera, focus already. Oh, merci Brigitte. Merci Sylvie. Oh, come on, stupid camera, focus already. Goodness gracious. Just doesn't want to. Oh, there you go. So this is the primo. And this is the pardo. The pardo pendant. And again, you can see the silver pretty much looks like silver. And the pearlescence. And this is one of the pardo earrings. And yeah, on the pardo I put some rhinestones too. It's just too pretty not to embellish it even more. There's the other pardo earring. But that's the problem with the pieces that have pearlescence and iridescence. It's very hard to capture it properly. And unfortunately, it's too cold for me to go outside and take video shots outside. So I try to do my best from indoors. Now, and as I hope to finish and post today the mother of pearl jewels. And as a side note, because I wanted to show you this, this is one of the mother of pearl tutorials, free tutorials that I found online, and you can see the difference. This is primo, made with that tutorial, and this is pardo. And it doesn't look as good as mine, but even with this, you can see that the pardo looks much better because of the way oh, come on, it lost again focus. Because of the way the mica particles are. See, because in primo they are much larger than in pardo. So even with this tutorial, pardo still looks better than primo. Donc Brigitte, j'ai dit que j'espère de poster aujourd'hui le tuto sur les bijoux en nacre. I am not bilingual, I'm like, I don't know, quintilingual. I do understand Spanish and I speak it enough to not get myself lost and order fries and actually get fries in a restaurant, but I have the bad habit of slipping into Italian whenever I try to speak Spanish. That's my biggest issue. So let me see. Non, j'ai pas mélangé du primo et du pardo. Ils sont séparément. C'est les recettes de... Ça, c'est le primo et ça, c'est le pardo. C'est ce que je voulais dire que j'ai fait. Ça, c'est sur un tuto de faux nacre que j'ai trouvé en ligne. Je l'ai essayé et j'ai vu que les effets n'étaient pas si bons que le mien, mais quand même, tu peux voir que le pardo est beaucoup mieux que le primo, même dans ce tuto. I have, Carrie, I don't know if you saw, but I have posted a list of colors that you might want to get if you order. And Polyclay Play has the best prices on Pardo, but I think that she's not shipping anything until after the new year because she's on the Christmas vacation. And the good thing, believe me, I am not getting paid by anybody to tell you this. What I love about Polyclay Play, it's a one-woman business, okay? It's not some kind of big company or corporation or anything. She takes her business very seriously. If you order before noon, it will most likely go out, be shipped the same day. It's true that we are fairly close because I'm in Oklahoma and she's in Texas, but I usually get my orders within 2 days. And also you get all kinds of perks. As you keep buying, you get a certain number of perks. As a repeat customer, you always get $1 off your order. And then when you accumulate a certain number of perks, you can apply them towards your order. And depending on the number of perks you have, you can get 10, 15, up to 25% off. And also, if you get to a certain number of perks, you can actually, instead of applying them towards your order, you can actually get a never need machine for free. Hi, James. But yeah, and generally speaking, once you keep being a repeat customer, at one point you move into a different type of account and you can get your stuff cheaper already. And then she has all the sales and all. I mean, think about this. Right now, you can get the Pardo at Polyclay Play for the same price that you can get the Primo at Hobby Lobby or Michael's. I mean, it's between $250 and $270. You cannot find it anywhere. Polyclayplay.com, Holly. And she's the one who's co-sponsoring the Imagine contest with me, and she was very generous. She offered a coupon that was valid until the 15th of December of 10% off with all the people who registered. And then also she offered some, for the first prize, some Pardo, translucent, transparent, and a gift certificate, and then gift certificates for the second and for the third prize. And even if you are in Europe, the gift certificates still work towards the tutorials, because she has a whole bunch of tutorials on the website and a whole bunch of free ones. You know, yeah, this is the Primo. I didn't realize I was playing with it. This is the Primo mother of pearl. I just I had cut a little bit more than I intended when I made the cabochon, so I went ahead and I made another cabochon. I am really thrilled. I got with my last order from Polyclay Play. There are these cabochon molds that I used for those cabochons. Oops, sorry. And you can get them on Amazon if you're not in the US. And they are made by Best Flexible Molds. And they come in, actually, let me get, because I got 3 of them. Let Let me get all of them so I can show them to you. And she has more than that. Actually got 4 because I got the faces one too. But the cabochons, look at this. This is an almond. Lift this up a little bit. This is an almond. This is the egg-shaped. And this is shields. And what I love is that you don't need any kind of release agent at all. J'ai dit que j'ai acheté de polyclés, mais vous pouvez trouver ceci sur Amazon aussi. J'ai mis le lien dans mon Amazon Influencer. Elles sont faites par Best Flexible Molds et vous n'avez pas besoin d'aucun, vous savez, de l'eau ou de talcum powder ou de rien. Elles ne gluent pas. Vous sortez le cabochon. Let me show you. So here I have a little piece of white pearl. So it's not conditioned. It's been here in the cling wrap. And let me get in one of them. Let's get this one. And what I usually do for making cabochons, I just use my roller and to be sure that I went all the, and see, I didn't put any kind of release agent whatsoever. And then I grab my satin slice, and I use the same way, the pivoting blade that I learned from Lisa Pavelka's tutorial. And I use this to slice off the excess clay. And see how beautifully it slices off with no problem. What are you doing? What are you doing? What did you eat? That's whisper choking on something. And then you just do this and it pops out. And see how beautiful it is. It has absolutely no cracks. It's perfectly smooth. I just love them. I just love them to pieces. And I also got one because I'm planning on starting some goddess pendants, you know, kind of like this. And this one is with, let me see, amethysts. And I make these, I only sell them through a local metaphysical store. But I am so sick and tired of the Sculpey face molds because it's one of the crappiest molds I've ever had. And no matter what, I always have to resculpt the faces because they look like crap. So I said I'm going to try the Best Flexible Molds face molds, and they are fabulous too. Let me get one in so you can see, even if it is a white. Oh, merci Brigitte. So let's see. And the same way, I'm going to use my roller to be sure that I went in all the corners of the mold, and then use my blade. And this is not the cane slicing blade. That's the one that helps me cut really thin slices of cane. And see, it's out. I only had to do a little bit of pushing. And let me see if I managed to. And the faces are absolutely beautiful. Trying to make the camera focus properly. Even if it's white, so you cannot really see it very well. Oh, come on. As I said, this camera is way clearer than the other one. Unfortunately, they made a very bad software for it, and it doesn't allow me to, there you go, you can see it better. It doesn't allow me to change settings during Hangouts for some reason. I don't know if it's the camera software fault or the Hangouts fault. But yeah, and there are several faces, including, and you also have some hands. And they go even very, very small, and you also have a profile. So you can do all kinds of cameos and even use them for, you know, like dolls and stuff where you have mixed media. So yeah, I got the sizes of the cams. Let me show you. You saw the, so this is this. And they come in various sizes. As you can see, you can have your pick. And I love the fact that they are they're not middle of the road, you know. And again, I absolutely adore how easy they are to use. What do you want now? Now you want to go out? I tried to let him out before I started this, and he didn't want to. Now he wants to go out. Just a minute, please. Come on. Sorry, I got the things out of the oven too. Let me get this out of the way. Get my lights back up so I can see. Okay, so I put them straight into water, and I'm going to use on some of them, on a couple of them, need to use the do you see how beautifully lacy they are? Get this out of the way. And so all you need to do is to dry them out a little bit. going to, because see how now they are nice and hard. Grab my camera view again, and they are fairly transparent. As I said, all you need to do now is to dry them up. Do first the outside, and you can just let them, I mean, right now I'm drying them up because I want to show you how to finish the earrings, but you don't have to dry them up like this. You can just let them, put them on some paper towels and let them dry. Okay, and let me grab my jewelry finding stuff. Because I have everything ready. This time, it didn't take me by surprise. I did not forget. So let's grab, I'm going to use pearls, but you can use any whitish, you can even make your own if you want to. And if I can open this without getting pearls all over the place, it would be wonderful. So I'm going to pick some itty bitty ones. And here you can use a head pin, but as my head pins are horribly hard, and it's very hard for me to do wrapped loops with them, I'm just going to use this 24 gauge wire. So this will go inside anyway. So I am going to get it in. C'est la canne flocon de neige que j'ai fait la dernière fois, Sylvie. And then just hold the bead and do a little bit of wrapping, pretty much like you would do an eye loop, an eye pin loop, a wrapped loop. And then cut off the excess. And you can use a seed bead. They are too tiny for my hands to hold properly. That's why I'm not using a seed bead. But you need a bead that would be bigger than whatever opening you've left here. And then I'm going to place another bead because I need them to be a little bit spaced out. So I'm going to place a next size bead. But here, honestly, I would suggest that you use a head pin, not do what I did. Start with just a plain head pin. And then I'm going to place the top one. And they will move around. They will move fairly freely. And then another bead. And on this one, I will actually, and you can put bead caps if you want. Of course, I'm just not going to bother with that right now. But do a wrapped loop definitely, because otherwise it will have the tendency to, actually let me put a bead cap because it wants to go inside the thing. These bead caps, you can get them from China for like $3 for 500 of them, and I ordered the mixed colors, and you get silver, gold, bronze, and gunmetal. But like $2 or $3. You have to just wait, you know. It takes a couple of weeks for you to get them, but considering the price, it's all worth it. I was able to send Kathy Weaver some too, so she'll have for her bracelet making for the kids in the hospitals. Okay, so bead cap, bead. And I don't have to worry because these ones, they don't have a thing, and I'd rather, even if they had a loop, I would still do the wrap loop separately. And then do a wrap loop. My problem is that my needle nose is magnetized and the bead cap has the tendency to lift on it. And then tuck in the end. So it will not scratch. And there you go. And they just move freely. Let me move the camera so you can see them dangling. And as I said, you can make them with smaller pieces. Let's do the second one. So again, I'm going to grab a piece of wire. Do a small bead. Because as I said, I suggest that you do a head pin, not what I'm doing here, but as I said, my head pins are very, very hard, and it's very hard for me to do any kind of wrapped loop, and I would have to do the wrapped loop in the on the very top, and it's practically impossible for me to do that. It took me, when I did the necklace and I put the teardrop dangling bead, it took me almost 10 minutes off camera to actually do that wrap loop. And again, we do the one that doesn't have lifted skirts, then bead, these are such crappy beads, but they were on sale at one point at Michael's years and years and years ago, so I got them. And then the second one, bead cap, bead, bead cap, wrapped loop. I did it wrong. There you go, the second one. Yes, I'm in the States right now. I'm in Oklahoma. I've been here for like 18 years. Originally, I'm from Romania. So there you go. Pretty lacy, snowflakey earrings. Oh, yes, I do. The problem is that like half of them, the hole doesn't go all the way through. So, and they are plastic, so they cannot be baked. So yeah, it's pretty hard. But they were like, I forgot, like $1.50, $2, something like that. Hi, Tina. Oh, goodness. Everybody knows about Joplin, Missouri. Were you there when the big one hit? So I still have a few, and you know my thing. Whenever I have remnants, what do I do with the remnants? Beads. So I got one piece here. And I got another piece here, but I need to kind of get it not overlap on the other one because I want these middles on each side of the bead. But yeah, I have a whole bunch of beads that need to be buffed, sanded and buffed. So I'll be fairly busy after Christmas. And look forward because I'll have probably actually 2 tutorials today if I don't fall asleep. And then I need to work on other things. But yeah, so remember, next Sunday there will be no Play With Me Sunday. Instead, it will be a yearly wrapping up on December 30th, on Saturday. If you wonder why I'm doing this, is if you do this, you can figure out if the bead is right in the middle or if it is off-centered. Because there's nothing worse than having a bead off-centered in a necklace. And there you go, I have a bead ready to bake. And these rests can go for the scrap pile. But yeah, I hope that you enjoyed making the... I have some other beads here. These are made with micro cane. Trying to make this camera focus is a pain. There you go. And these need to get baking too. And then next year, I'll also show you, I'll start showing you how to sculpt. I'll make tutorials on how to sculpt art dolls, how to make eyes for them. Let me try again and make the camera focus. How to make realistic eyes, that is. Because these need to be like 3 to 4 millimeters. Because generally you go for the dolls being 7 to 8.5 inches tall. So in proportion, this is how big the eyes have to be. But yeah, I will start. So the canes thing, and then some sculpting things, and then another series. So thank you for being here. I'm going to go do my bread now. And I wish you a great Christmas. And remember, if you're getting too bored, I'm around. You can always message me. You can always ask me things. I'm not going anywhere, and I will have no visitors because, as I said on both my profile page and on my page, my father died 4 years ago on the 22nd of December. So for me, Christmas is not really a joyful time. So have a happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and be surrounded by your loved ones and be merry and happy and safe. And thank you again for being here with me. Yeah, and eat a lot. Eat a lot. If you don't eat now, when are you going to eat? Come on. The diet can start after the first year. Okay? Thank you and Merry Christmas, and I'll see you on Saturday. Probably around 10 o'clock Central Time, so it will leave enough time for everybody to do their New Year's preparations. Okay, have a great holiday and a great day. Joyeux Noël, mes filles, que vous avez une bonne célébration. And be happy. Best wishes, and bye, everybody. See you Saturday.